So, hello from my side. My name is Julia, and I'm responsible for the internal and external marketing at MJR since 4 years now. Me and my colleague Demian are presenting our Uploadia today. Agenda for today: we talk over automated Excel upload via SystemLink, the Uploadia CLI also. For the people who don't know us so far, I will quickly introduce our company MJR. Then I will do a basic introduction into Uploadia, and then Demian will show some examples for Uploadia. And then we have a little time for your questions, which you can write in the chat. Meanwhile, I will show the presentation. First of all, we are located in Knittlingen, which is in the south of Germany. For those who don't know MJR so far, we are here in the south, as you can see on the card, on the map of Germany, down in Baden-Württemberg in Knittlingen. And here you can see some of our beautiful landscape with vineyards and some historical buildings of our region. Then we can see our business. We have a wide range of expertise all over IT systems. These are our long-term partners. We are a Work Out Loud partner already since 2022 now, and we are very proud of that. And we love to have many contacts and many exchange in this community. And since last year, that's new, we are an official partner of the ISE. Maybe you already heard about that already. Then for Uploadia, we created an extra landing page with all information you need. The URL you can see here on the screen. We also have an Uploadia user guide, and we also have a changelog on our website for Uploadia. And then we have, that's new since last year, maybe you already saw that on the Empower, we have a Uploadia community for your questions. Also, maybe some of you know that we have many tutorials on a public playlist on YouTube with over 10 videos, I think, already, and many examples and background information. So maybe you just search for the Uploadia videos and you can watch them later on if you want. So what's Uploadia? Uploadia is used formatted Excel files or CSV files, or that's new, ODS files to upload data into XA. It is a web application and it's based on HTML5. It's usable via drag and drop, and you also can do your favorite business objects, so it's a very user-friendly UI. It's installed on the IBM i or on any other server. You can install it on the IBM i, but yes, it's also possible on any other server. If you have questions, you can just ask them. So we are working with a standard API for XA. So all XA standard business objects are possible. Also customizations or customer business objects, that is no problem. We use the XA security also, so it's no security risk for you at all. Also, you don't have to have any technical skills or coding skills. It's very easy to use for your business users. And that's also important, you can establish an automatic upload process over the command line interface, also called shortly CLI feature. And that's the point here. It is another and automatic way to upload your data with the command line interface feature of Uploadia. Separate license is required for that. So you can connect your IBM i system where Uploadia is installed. You can start a command line terminal, and then you have like a command, of course, a command, where it's including the Excel file, the mapping, and the place for the result CSV file and your XA login. And then you insert it to a terminal and press enter or operate this command automatically at regular intervals. Then you can do everything automated in the background directly on your servers. You can see how this command is, it's including all the information we need in Uploadia. Then in terminal, you can run that. You can watch the results in the result CSV. You also have that in the normal, I call it normal Uploadia upload, not the automatic way. And you can watch errors, for example, here during the create in the result CSV. And we also have a video for that because we will not show the whole command line interface feature today. We show two other examples, but here we have more details in the Uploadia CLI video on YouTube also. You can search for the name and then you will find it in our channel. So here you can see the process which is running in the background of Uploadia, where we're using also the SystemLink technology to put all the data into XA. So this was my part, and for the Uploadia live demo, I will now hand over to my colleague Demian. So Demian, please go on.
Thank you so far. So, okay, what we have here is the Uploadia login screen. And on the other tab on my browser, I have a Netlink session in InfoXA. For today, I have picked an example which I did recently for another customer. It was mass updating vendor lead times in item warehouses. They've got new vendor lead times from one vendor. It was, not sure, but around 600 items, which they are sourcing from this vendor. And they got an Excel file with new lead times, and they asked me if I can quickly apply that with Uploadia, which I did. It was a simple thing to do, and so I would like to show that example here in that session. So to do so, as I don't got any data from a supplier or so, I need to get some data first. So for this, I will go to the item warehouse object in Netlink, and then I will switch to the view lead time, as it is including the vendor lead time. And for this example, we will only care about purchased items. So I can select this here in the row filters from Netlink. This is, by the way, a release 11 environment. Uploadia is working fine with release 11, release 10, 9.2, and so on. So Uploadia is very compatible with all the different XA versions. So now I have all the purchased items and their lead times in here. Now I would like to get this in an Excel file. To do so, I will use the export functionality. And since I think it's release 10, we have an export to spreadsheet option here. If you do not have that yet, it's fine. You can still use export to text and then get a CSV file, which you can place in Excel. But since that version, it's quite simple because it's downloading directly an ODS file. So here I have my file. We'll open it now. And here we see the data from Netlink. For this example, I actually only care about the lead time of the vendor, so I will remove the other ones. It wouldn't matter if they are there. It's just improving the overview of that file a little bit. So I will remove that. And now I will place a new column in here with new values. And for this example, I will just call it lead time vendor new. And we will take the value of the old column and increase it by, let's say, 50%. So I multiply by 1.5. Then I will take this formula, put it down, so like this. And here we have our values. Of course, I think that's not an actual real-life example how this would work, as you most likely will get that data from your vendor or from another source. But for our example, it's good enough. It's just new data that we would like to get in the system with a mass upload. So I can take this like this. I will save it as item warehouse, new lead time, vendor, or something like this. Regarding the format, we are, since it's, let's say, all time supporting the XLSX format, the official Excel format, but you could also use a CSV file or an ODS file. It doesn't matter. They're working all in the same way with Uploadia. So now I save that Excel file. Let's quickly check. Yeah, there is the new one. And we can close here. And now we can go to Uploadia. First, I need to log in here. For the login, I use the same credentials as I'm using in XA. So it's normal Info XA user account. There is no own user management or authorization system for Uploadia. Then I select my environment. In Netlink, we have been in CY environment, which is our release 11 demo environment. And English should be fine for that session. So we can log in like this. What's happening in the background while this login, Uploadia is fetching all the business objects available from this environment, and they are displayed here on the side of my screen. So this means the business objects I see here, they are not a generic list or something preset. They are really from this specific environment. So if you have changed some business objects or created some own business objects in this environment, then they are also available for Uploadia and they can be used in here. So by the way, you can mark some business objects as a favorite by clicking that star icon in here. Then they will always be on top. So I did this, for example, for those objects which I'm using mostly, and the item warehouse is already in there. So I can take it from here, just drag and drop it in the middle, and then the attributes will be displayed here. Same thing here. These attributes, they are coming directly from your XA environment. So if you have, for example, an extension file created in Integrator, which is creating new attributes on your object, they will also be available in here. So in the middle of the screen, in general, we have the mapping area where I will get my attributes and then I connect them, which we already have here. And on the left side of the screen, I can have my Excel files. So here I can click that cloud icon, and then I'm prompted to select a file to upload. I will take our new lead time vendor file, open it, and it's uploading into Uploadia. Here I see sheet 1 now. This is the name it actually has in the Excel sheet. So if I would rename it in the Excel file, the name would also be displayed here. And if I hover over it, then I can see the actual file name where it's coming from. I put it in the middle as well. And now we see in comparison the columns from the Excel file and the attributes from InfoXA. At the bottom of Uploadia, we have a list of processes. Currently, we have only process 1. But if I would start this now and it would take, let's say, 2 hours because I am updating thousands of items or even more, then I can just let this run, create a new process, and do other stuff there. Or if I would like to keep a process to validate the data with a colleague or someone else, I could do this as well in here. So you're not limited to do one upload at a time. For this specific upload we have here, we can see that 2 columns have been matched automatically. And it is item and the planner. And the reason for that is that the name in the Excel file of that column was exactly the same than in Uploadia. So it was mapped automatically. It's not required to have that names to be the same, but if you do so, it will be mapped in here. For this example, I do not want to update the planner, so I can remove it in here. I only would like to update the vendor lead time. And to do so, I need to select the key fields, so item, which is already selected, and the warehouse. And then additionally, we need the vendor lead time. On top here, I have a search, so I can search for example for vendor, and then I find lead time vendor. Can take it, and now I map it to our column lead time vendor new. There we have it. Then it's really important. On top here, we have our transaction. Currently, this is create. But we do not want to create new item warehouse records. We want to update existing records. So I need to select the transaction update here. In general, you have transactions for create, update, and delete. So if you're, for example, creating new custom orders, it would be create here. Update is the example we look at now. But you could also delete some records in XA by using the delete transaction. Independent of the 3 transactions you have here, you can also use all kind of XA transactions. So if I search in that list of business object, for example, for TW, then I will also find TW transactions, so transfer location item or warehouse item. So if I would like move stock from one warehouse to another, I can use those transactions. And the same applies for all transactions you have in XA, but only the transactions that are available in PowerLink. So older green screen transactions that have not been migrated from Infor to PowerLink yet, so like, for example, PQ transaction, they are not available in Uploadia, but all the other ones, they are available and they are working well. In case you have some questions regarding these transactions, that we can also talk about this later. So, but for this example, our mapping is good. It's obviously a really simple mapping, but we are done at this point. Now I can use the ability to save our mapping. So I click Save Mapping and then I enter a name, for example, work out loud lead time vendor. And if I save it like this, then I can reuse it at any point later by selecting a mapping here from that list. So if I come back at another time and have an empty process, I can select the mapping here, use it with another Excel file that has the same layout, and I don't need to drag and drop all the columns on each other again. This is especially useful if you have an upload with, let's say, 10 or 50 columns, maybe also across different business objects. So if you are creating a customer order and customer order line items at the same time, so a complex upload, like we call it, then it's really handy to save that mappings and do not redo them every time. So, but for now, I think we're good. We can start that upload now. And if I do so, I see the content of the Excel file here in Uploadia. It's displaying me the values of all columns I have mapped here. So things like planner and so on, they are not displayed at the moment. But all the other stuff is visible here. And then the columns will start to turn green if the upload was successful. And in case something is not working, then they will turn red. In case there is an error of some kind, so for example, an item number was not found or the value of lead time is invalid or whatever, then you can also view that error messages directly here in Uploadia. There is no such error message right now because that data was freshly exported from this environment, so it's all matching. But if you use this in the real world examples, then you most likely face some issues where you get red lines and then you can click them and see the error message. But for this example, we can go back to XA now and refresh to see our new data. So now in the beginning, we have, for example, 3.8, 2.5, and so on. And if I refresh, then we can see the updated values with the increased lead time vendor. And if I pick one, so for example, the first one, and display the maintenance history of that record, then we can also see that it was changed right now, 15/21, and sometimes before. But this change is the one which was actually done with Uploadia right now, and we can also see that it is under my user profile because I was logged into Uploadia. So like Julia mentioned earlier, all of the transactions that are done by Uploadia are done under the user profile you're logging in, and they are all done with SystemLink. So all the permissions you have in XA, they are validated. All the checks XA is doing when you enter some data, for example, in PowerLink, they are applied to Uploadia as well. So it's nearly impossible to get, let's say, corrupted data by this. If you just have a typo in there or something, SystemLink will always notice and give you a proper error message. So I think that was it for this small demonstration, what you can do with Uploadia.
Maybe we can quickly check about the ODS files. What's new?
There's a question regarding price books. And yes, you can upload price books as well. I've also done this in the past for customers. It's working. It's something like this. You search here for price books, and then you find the objects regarding it. So you can create the actual price book itself, which is the main object. But I think in the real world, you would not create a totally new price book. You would just upload prices in a new price book version also. Then you can start at this level, create a new price book version by putting this in. Or if you have also created that price book version manually already, then you can immediately start at the last level, which is the price book base prices. And yeah, can put them in here. And if you have a price book with quantity price breaks or so, you can also use that. It's working in the same way as shown before. I think I have also a demo file sitting around for how it's looking with a price book, but I need to look it up. But yeah, that's definitely possible.
If we don't have any question, maybe we can quickly show the ODS feature.
Yeah, of course. I can delete that file here, create a new process, and upload the original file I've downloaded before in the ODS format. If I do so, then I can put it in here and it will just look the same. So in Uploadia, you cannot notice a difference. If it was an ODS or an Excel file, it's working just in the same way, and you can use them in here.
I think until now we don't have any video about price books, right? But we can do a personal demo. That's possible.
Yeah, I think that's okay. We could either just create a video for it and publish on YouTube, or we can arrange a meeting with you to show you how price books are working. Let me quickly look up my demo file. Yeah, here you see. This is an Excel file I've used in the past to create price books. I've applied some color in here to make it simpler. But basically, in the blue area, I had the price book itself. It was only one price book, but you always duplicate the value in here. But Uploadia will recognize this then. And then I had two versions in here. No, it was actually three versions. This one, and this one. And each of those three versions had three prices inside. So these three prices is for the first version of the price book. And then we have here the next version, which is including these prices. And here we have the last version with the last three prices. It was all for the same item. And they had a different effective date. So the price was increasing every month here. Yeah, but obviously you can do this for unlimited amount of items. So that Excel file could have thousands of lines, and then it can all be uploaded.
Good. No questions so far. No.
The Uploadia licensing and pricing is not done on a user-based license. We are licensing Uploadia based on your XA environment. So basically, we have two types of licenses. An environment license, which gives you one production environment and one test environment. And then a machine license, and there you will get one production machine with unlimited amount of environments and one test system.
Okay. Then I think we got it. No more questions so far. One more.
Does it support 020 page A3? What does this mean? Of price books. Quantity price breaks. Yes, quantity price breaks are also possible. Yeah, they can be used as well. Search. I'm not sure how the object is called. Quantity price. Here we have some quantity price breaks. Let's see if one of this is from CSM. Yeah, I'm not really sure which of those objects it is right now, but it's definitely possible to create quantity price breaks as well. But I need to look it up, how it's working, which object to use. If you're more interested in that price book scenario and how this is working, then you could just write us an email and we can plan a meeting together with you and show you an example. You can just write in the email what exactly you want to see, or if you have some example data which you would like to use to create that price book, it's also fine.
I just quickly added the link to the Uploadia pricing on our page.
Okay, fine.
How it's how many machines and stuff. Okay, if there are no questions anymore, I would show the last slide of my presentation.
Okay, fine. Then I will stop sharing. There we go.
Okay, I hope we can go there. Okay, you should see now. So thank you everyone for your time. And if you have any questions, contact us for more information or write us for a personal demo. As Demian said, if you want to have a special business object or something, we can do a free personal demo and show you exactly the case you need. So from my side, I say thank you and have a nice day. See you next time. Bye-bye.